will connect online. Thank you, Arun. Hi, Arohi. Waiting for the others. I'm really excited for the start of this course. So, super, super pumped up to see all of you. Can we have others also to turn on their cameras if possible? Thank you, Shirley. Thanks, Rashmi. Yes, Madhumita, I understand. Um, if it's possible for you whenever, even for a short time, to switch on your camera just to say hi to everybody, we would like that. But I understand if you're not able to do that today. Thank you. Hi, Helen. So while the others are turning their cameras on and a couple of you are still joining, I would like to start by greeting you all a very warm welcome to this course. It's going to be a long journey of 10 days of us all sharing this space together. So I would really like to get to know each other on a more personal level because this is my first time also seeing all of your names, all of your faces. So a quick round of introduction is something that I think will really help us get acquainted with each other. So I'll start by introducing myself. Um, so my name is Vaishnavi, and I think you might have seen a short introduction in the flyer that you all have used to register. And I am a counseling psychologist with over 3 years of experience in schools and in private practice. And I've mostly worked with children, starting right from nursery to adolescent children. And through my experience and through the different courses that I myself have pursued, there's a lot of things that this experience has taught me, has given me insight far beyond the textbooks could have. And I am really elated to share those experiences and to hear some of your experiences as well. So I would really like if you all can just share your name and a little bit about you, like your background. Where are you working? Are you studying? What are you studying? Something that will help us locate where in the psychology community, if you're a parent or caregiver, anything, any background that you come from, would really like to know so that this experience is more meaningful and we get insights from different areas and backgrounds as well. So whoever wants to go ahead can volunteer and tag the other person.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Yeah. So hi, ma'am. Hi, everyone. My name is Barun, and I'm doing my master's MSc Counseling Psychology from Christchurch Central Campus in Bangalore, and I have just completed my first year. I just gave my first um, second semester last exam on 20th March, which was coincidentally of child and adolescent counseling only. And yeah, so this is one subject that I've thought would be interesting at the beginning of this semester for me, but like honestly, if I share, um, like we didn't have a very I would say like application based, for child and adolescent counseling. Right now, whatever there was some kind of hiccups in middle of this semester regarding faculty and how our class was interacting, and also there were like two faculties. One was for who was teaching us the like child psychology, like pathology, and another one who's teaching us about the educational part of the psychology. So there was this a bit of mismatch and everything. So yeah, so when I saw this workshop, that is what like interested me, application based. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Varun, for sharing about yourself and giving also a gist of what brings you here, because I think that purpose matters a lot when we are signing up for anything and learning new things. So, hopefully, this space is going to help you feel that connection to real life and what you see in textbooks and how it reflects in applications. So, hoping for that for you. Who would you like to tag?
Oh, okay. Uh, I mean, I can see Roshni right now.
Okay, hello everyone. Hello, ma'am. I'm Roshni Nayak, and I'm currently doing my master's in counseling psychology from CMR University. And currently, my second semester is going on. And I too had a paper on developmental psychology in my first semester, but it was just some basics and all. So, and the thing is, I am quite interested in child psychology, but I don't yet have any idea like how can I further go on with it. So that's why that was my one of the reason to sign up for this course.
Thank you for sharing, Rashni. And I think this is a great idea to pursue a course like this to find out if this is really your calling. So, wishing you the best. Can you tag somebody?
Vaishnavi. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Madhumita.
Am I audible? By any chance, is my voice breaking?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, awesome. Hi guys. My name is Madhumita. I'm based in the UAE for the last 3 years. I am doing my MA in psychology from Amity University. I'm in the third semester right now, and I'm still in the process of kind of figuring out my area of interest to go forward. So I always was a little interested in child counseling, so I just wanted to kind of attend this session to get a little better idea on how it works practically. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the session.
Thank you, Madhumita. I think a lot of similar purpose is coming up. So, I'm really glad to see that there are people here from the same community, which is the students. And I think definitely we will be hearing a lot from you all also. What are the certain areas that you wish to know more about so that we can shape and make this experience something that will help you to decide and make that choice for yourself. Madhumita, can you tag somebody?
Sure. I can see Helen.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So my name is Helen, and I'm currently in my third year of bachelor's. I'm doing it in MIT University, Mumbai. So this child counseling is something which, especially child psychology subject, is not there for us. Like right from our first year till the third year, I haven't got this exposure to child psychology. So I thought this would be a better platform to basically understand the concepts of it and maybe also get a practical exposure. Yeah, that's it.
Ma'am, you're muted. Please
Ma'am, you
unmute.
are on mute.
Sorry, and thank you for letting me know. So I was saying thank you for sharing, Helen, and considering the fact that you are in just your third year of your bachelor's, so you coming up and coming to this course and enrolling is a very good step that you've taken. Because the earlier you figure out what you want to do, I think is the better for your career decisions. So welcome to this space, and don't feel overwhelmed with the other seniors that you have here. Helen, can you please tag somebody?
Tanya?
Hello everyone. Um, I'm Tanya Sachdeva, social media lead at Nurture Counseling. Alongside managing our social media presence, I handle community engagement and oversee our LinkedIn outreach as well. And I am in my second year of BA Honors Psychology, Daulat Ram College. At Nurture Counseling, I also create content that reflects Nurture Counseling's vision and values, making psychology accessible and relatable for our audience. So, yeah, thank you.
Welcome to the space, Tanya. I think Helen finally has somebody from her batch. Somebody, yes. Tanya, can you tag somebody?
Is Arohi done with her introduction? Arohi.
Okay, so good evening, ma'am. Hello, everyone. This is me, Arohi Nayak, and I am currently pursuing BA second year from Isabella Thoban College, Lucknow. And since in my college, I haven't studied about child psychology right yet, so I just wanted to have a keen interest in this, and I joined this session to learn more and gain some practical knowledge. So I think it's a good platform right now. Thank you.
Ma'am, you are on mute.
Can you tag somebody, Arohi? Either Shirley or I think there's one more person. Ishwarya. Aishwarya. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name.
Surely I'm tagging, ma'am.
Shirley, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Jolie Mendes. I completed my BA in psychology last year. After that, I took a break and I was teaching in a preschool. So that gave me a thing to study child psychology. I'll be doing my master's in Netherlands next year. So I just wanted to have like a brief, short notice of how it's going to be and how it's like. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Shirley. I think the fact that you have school experience, a lot of things you might be able to relate from your observations, and do feel free to share them with all of us. We would love to hear from you. Can you tag somebody? I think there's just one person left. Hi, Shwarya. I think that's how it's spelled. Can you please help me with your name?
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Aishwarya, and I'm actually a Montessori teacher. And so I thought learning child psychology is something that will add value to what I'm doing right now. So I wanted to know more about the child and their psychology, everything. So I think this is going to be a great learning session for me as well. Nice meeting you all.
Welcome to the space, Aishwarya. I think it's amazing that we have a teacher with us, because when we talk about children, we cannot leave the conversation unless we talk about how the child is at school. And your experience with children and your observations is something that we can really benefit from in our discussions. And I am a big fan of Montessori, so really looking forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
I think we are done with our quick introductions, and of course, throughout the course, we will know more about each other. The spaces that we come from, our challenges is something that definitely will come up in our discussions. I would like to give it up to our speaker who is going to do an introduction, right? Um,
Yes. So, hello everyone. As I mentioned, I'm Tanya Sachdeva, social media lead at Nurture Counseling. I also take orientation sessions, helping new learners feel welcomed and guided as they begin their journey with us. My role is to ensure that our community feels connected, informed, and supported, both online and within our programs. So, are you excited about the webinar or orientation and this course?
Yes.
Yeah. So now tell me, have you ever thought about this? Like when you join a program in an organization, shouldn't you also know about the organization itself? Like, are they credible? Are they trustworthy? Who are the people behind it?
Yes.
And that is why exactly we are here today, to get to know the organization you are learning from, to understand what we do and what we stand for, and how we support you. So let's begin. Welcome once again. At Nurture Counseling, we believe in creating a safe space for mental wellness because you matter. So, Nurture Counseling was founded in 2022 in Bangalore, India. Our mission is simple yet powerful: to promote mental wellness, break the stigma around mental health, and empower individuals through accessible, evidence based counseling. Everything we do is built on empathy, understanding, and empowerment. Learners say it best. From our workshops on dialectal behavioral therapy to career counseling programs, participants consistently highlight how engaging, practical, and supportive our sessions are. These voices reflect the real impact of our work. In just a few years, we have conducted over 30 certificate training programs, 35 plus webinars and workshops, and trained more than 2,200 psychology students across India and beyond, including Sri Lanka, Dubai, and Singapore. Each milestone is a step toward building a stronger, more informed mental health community. Let's pause here. Any thoughts or questions before we move on? Okay, then let's continue. We are proud to be MSME registered, Startup India recognized, GST registered, affiliated with the American Psychological Association, and accredited by the International Association of Therapists. These recognitions ensure our services are credible, ethical, and professional. Our work spans psychoeducation, mental wellness products, one on one mentoring, therapist supervision, therapy in regional languages, and awareness programs. We believe in meeting people where they are with resources that truly support their journey. It's my pleasure to introduce our facilitator for today, Vaishnavi Tavre. She is a counseling psychologist with over 3 years of experience, specializing in trauma informed care and school based mental health interventions. She supports children, adolescents, and young adults with compassion and expertise. We are excited to learn from her experience and passion for empowering learners through clarity and direction. Before we move on, ma'am, would you like to share a few words with us?
So I think I have already shared brief introduction about myself. And I think I'm very, very excited to contribute to this space because I think theory is something that we can easily get access to with the amount of information we have these days. But something that I aim to really bring in this space is real conversations based on our experiences, our observations, and that practical, everyday knowledge that will help people who are working with children in whatever context that they are in. So that's something that I'm personally looking forward to bring in this session.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for those heartfelt words. Now, continuing with something we are truly excited to offer, we are offering free therapy sessions exclusively for participants aged 18 to 24. These sessions are available in March and April between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. except Sundays. It's our way of making mental health support more accessible to young adults. As you continue building your skills and self awareness, we invite you to explore tools that support your growth every day. At Nurture Counseling, healing isn't just limited to sessions, it's something you can nurture in your everyday life. That's why we have created a range of mental wellness products designed to encourage reflection, mindfulness, and emotional growth. Our 3-month journal, Your Space to Breathe, helps you build a consistent self care routine and track emotional patterns over time. The 1-month journal offers a lighter daily check in with prompts for grounding, gratitude, and gentle reflection. The Mindfulness Art book blends coloring and mandalas with therapeutic prompts, giving you a creative way to slow down and reconnect with yourself. Each product is crafted with care, keeping accessibility and emotional well being at the center. If you would like to explore more, visit our website and discover what works best for you. Before we continue, is there anything you would like me to revisit? If no, then let's continue. So we have wellness point system. With our wellness point system, every purchase earns you rewards. For example, rupees 500 to rupees 999 earns 200 points, and 100 points is equal to rupees 10. It's a way to give back while you invest in your well-being. And every participant receives a digital certificate upon successful completion of the program. And if you would like a printed copy, we can provide one for a nominal fee. It's your achievement your way. You can also connect with us on our Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, our website. We would love to stay connected and continue this journey with you. We would love to hear your thoughts. Like, are there any doubts or clarifications you would like us to address? If you have any operational queries or need support, you can always reach out to Nishtha. She will be coordinating the program logistics and ensuring everything runs smoothly. You can also connect with her directly in the group for any questions or clarifications. I'd now like to give her a moment to introduce herself. Nishtha?
Hi everyone, this is Nishtha Anand. So basically, I am basically working at Nurture Counseling as an operation intern right now. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this program goes, and I hope you guys learn from it. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much, Nishtha, and thank you for being here today at Nurture Counseling. We are not just building programs, we are building a community. We're excited to have you as part of this journey. Please remember your mental health matters, and so do you. Ma'am, you may now begin the session. We are ready and grateful to learn from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for this orientation. I think it provides a great start to our journey for the course. And with that, I think we can have the presentation rolling. So we begin with the course. While that is happening, I would like to share a few things that I would like to tell the participants that are in this course. So this space is an interactive space so that we learn from each other and of course the things that we will be discussing. So I would really like if each one of you can interact in um, any way that is possible. If it's not possible for you to turn your mics on, which is the ideal way that we would like to engage, uh, You can also drop your thoughts in the chat box and feel free to interrupt. It is a great thing when we have a lot of thoughts to share. It builds onto the discussion. It makes our experience more richer. So please feel free to unmute yourself and just or raise your hand in case you have anything to add, any questions, any doubts. We will be pausing in between for taking questions and for discussions. But feel free to pop in and share a thought whenever it arrives. And with that, we will begin. We can move to the next slide. We have already gotten an introduction about nurture counseling, and um, this course is about introduction to child psychology. And while child psychology can feel like a very big term because there are so many things under that term, what we will be tapping onto are a lot of basics because it is an introductory course. So we are going to be tapping on basics, which might seem like they are too basic, but when you are in the real world, in on the field, these basics are something that I find myself always going back to. So I think it's important to touch base on these as well. I'm sure that as students, you might be learning a lot of theory, but what I would really invite in this space is more discussions based on practical application of these theories. So that is something that would remain a highlight throughout our time together. Uh, I think Tanya has already introduced me, so we can move to the next slide. So during my introduction, I also asked you all what brings you here because it's very important to know where the space, where are you coming from, what brings you here, because the purpose of our presence here is something that is also going to help in this space to make the discussion more meaningful and for me to know how to tailor this experience according to your need. And I think we have gotten a round of that as well. So we would like to move to the next slide. So since you are students, um, I am not sure of how much exposure you have had to children already, but I would encourage you all to think of a child, um, and maybe this is a neighbor, a sibling, a student, any child that you have seen. Just take a moment to bring a child in front of your eyes and think what shapes who this child is. You can put your answers in the chat box. They can be a couple of keywords, a sentence. Tanya, I think you've raised your hand. Yes, go ahead.
I think parents play a very important role in shaping a child, like how they role model for their child and how they treat them. Like I think बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें भी matter कि how they say it to them. Like if अगर उनकी कोई गलती है तो how they tell them that it's their mistake, that matters. So yeah.
Yes, feelings, emotions, parents, environment. Correct. Environment, early caregivers, parents, teachers, absolutely. So what we're hearing from the responses is that um, the child is never shaped by just one thing. There are so many layers to what shapes a child. And here today in this course, we will be uncovering those layers that shape a child into the adult that they become. We will also be seeing what child psychology really means. Nisha, can you go to the next slide? So, what is child psychology then? I think you have all very simply explained what shapes a child, and that is what child psychology revolves around. It's nothing but a study of how children think and behave. But it's not just that. Child psychology helps you understand the behavior beyond just what the child's problem is, or what is happening really behind that behavior. Because honestly, the definition is less important than the shift that these factors bring into the child. So it helps us move from, why is this child like this, to understanding what might be going on for this child. So we've heard a lot of people say, oh, this child is so stubborn. Um, but we want to really know what is really happening when the child is showing behavior that feels like stubbornness. And child psychology helps us understand this through a lot of research, through theories, through different dimensions and domains, which help us tap into what is typical and atypical for development. Because for a child, every year of their development looks very different. So what child psychology does, it's actually breakdown of each year of that child's uh, childhood, and it really helps us understand what the needs are of the child, what's the behavior, what's the emotion that are shaping the outcomes for this child, and why does it matter. Can we go to the next slide? So when we understand a child, just beyond their problems, what it helps is, with adults, it helps us respond to them through knowledge that is research based, instead of just reacting out of our own emotions. Because when dealing with children, whether you are a therapist, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a caregiver, I think sometimes we also have moments where our emotions also override our reactions to them. And knowing what is happening really with the child really helps to know how to respond to those behaviors, instead of just reacting in a way that will not be much helpful. It also builds empathy, builds patience, because you know the process, you know the timelines, you know what is atypical and typical for development. And it helps in supporting the well-being of children, whether they're at school, at home, um, or in your therapy setup. And of course, like I said, it improves teaching, parenting, and caregiving practices. Coming up to the next part, which is a very famous, I think, debate of all time, is the nature versus nurture debate. Can we go to the previous slide, Mishra? Yes. So, how many of us, the nature and the nurture one? Yes. You can raise your hand if you have heard about this debate, the nature versus nurture debate. Yes, we all have heard about it. It's quite a famous debate that's been going on. What really shapes the child? Is it nature, which is the genetics, the temperament, the biological predispositions, what's been passed on through generations, what is in the child's genes, which genes are more expressive, which are more recessive? Is it that, or is it the nurture part, which is the parenting, which is the culture, education, environment, the ethnicity, the background of the child, socioeconomic background? What is it that is shaping the child? And one thing that comes up a lot when working with children is people want a clear answer. Is it the parents or is it the child? Um, in reality, it's almost never that simple. But we are going to be doing a quick activity in which we are going to be discussing a little bit about that. Can we go to the next slide? Yes. So what we are going to do is we are going to be getting divided in groups of two. We are going to be discussing it quickly. What we think shapes a child. Is it nature or is it nurture? So I will be dividing you in two breakout rooms. When the breakout rooms open, we have to discuss, unfortunately, in a small, short time of um, 3 minutes. We discuss it in 3 minutes. What do we think, and why do we think that it's either nature or nurture? This is like a mini debate that we are going to be doing. One group will argue why a child is shaped mostly by biology, which is the nature, and the other will argue on why children are shaped mostly by environment. You have 3 minutes for discussion in the breakout room and 5 minutes to do this debate. Uh, are we clear till here? Any questions, any thoughts, any doubts?
Ma'am, uh, so just for my own sake of clarity, I'm asking. So like we'll be divided like two people in each group, right? And
Not two people in each group. So I think we have around 9 or 8 people who are participants. So we will be in two separate breakout rooms.
okay,
So one have say 3, 4 people, and then these two groups will be debating with each other.
sure, sure.
Any other doubts, questions? Are we ready to start? Okay, I'm putting you in breakout rooms. Nishtha,
Ma'am, why did everyone leave?
they have not left. They are in the breakout room.
Okay, okay. So you also transfer this nurture counseling into one of the breakout. The other account is also mine, the Nishthanal. This is I'm from phone, okay? Like to just see.
Okay. I don't know if I can. Okay, wait. I think I might be able to put you in a breakout room here. So welcome back. So we will have our quick round of debate. Each group has only 2 minutes for this debate to share their side. First, you will share the pointers that you have discussed. One person from your group can volunteer to do this, and after that, the other person from the other group shares their points on this debate. So, from the nature group, which is the group one, who would like to share what are the pointers that have come up? Why do you think that a child is shaped by its biology, and why is the nurture part of the debate more valid? Who would like to go ahead? Can we have somebody from the nature group to share?
Ma'am, can I go?
Yes, please.
What we were discussing, uh, like one point was that how nature plays role is that the genetic with the genetic predisposition, the children of the uh, parents who are alcoholics or who have some who have had some kind of substance addiction have been seen that they are more prone to addiction and developing addiction, given that that their social and psychological environment also contributes, but their threshold of reaching that level of addiction is much more likely to be crossed by some triggering events than compared to children of the parents who don't have any sort of like substance addiction. And so, yeah, so I think there the nature plays a primary role and surpassing the role of nurture itself, that it makes the person more prone.
I think it is a very valid point that you are making here, because definitely our predispositions are something that is carried through generations, through genes. So we have a lot of disorders, a lot of conditions which have a very strong trait of being passed down through generations. So it is definitely a valid point. And what does the nurture group has to say on this? How can you share your thoughts? I think one of you can unmute and begin sharing.
Yeah, I can actually just step in and maybe the other two can add in. What we were discussing was while nature is a genetic predisposition to certain disorders, I think nurture sort of maybe helps how somebody can deal with that situation better. Maybe it teaches you if you have good early caregivers or the right environment, it can also help you sort of deal with those situations better. So I do feel like nurture plays a big role in how these children build attachment styles, how they grow up to view their caregivers, because that's going to affect their later relationships in life as well. So I do feel that it makes a big difference. And I think Aishwarya had also added saying, because she works in a Montessori, like that how children sort of learn and model behavior from other children, right? Like they sort of, even though suppose like one day the teacher tells a specific child like not to do something, they'll listen, but the next day they see another child doing the same thing, they're going to sort of model that same behavior. So it just also talks about how sometimes you could be genetically predisposed, but also it depends on the kind of environment that you're exposed to, and your chances of sort of dealing with that better is what we felt.
I think you've made a very sharp point to what nature had earlier added on, and I think definitely environment shapes a child's behavior. Also, just based on the pre-existing dispositions, there are chances that the child might express those things quite differently based on how they have been brought up, by whom they have been brought up, and the kind of environment that they have been brought up. So that is a very valid point also. Um, which brings me to a point and a key idea of this whole debate that we had is drum roll. Do we want to know which is the one that we actually consider in child psychology? So it's not nurture and it also is not nature. It's actually both that play a part in a child's um, development. And what really matters here is that, studies suggest that temperament, which is the biological factors, accounts for significant amount of part in how a child responds. But environment shapes those traits and how they develop over time. So the answer is not either or, which means it's not either nature or nurture. It's actually both. And I've actually seen some children in the classroom, same teacher, same instructions. One child is doing good while the other child is struggling. So that itself is a very big, observation that tells us that instead of asking what matters more, what we lean into when we are trying to learn about child psychology is that how are these both factors interacting in shaping how the child is behaving and showing up. So that's one thing that is a very important base key idea that we keep in mind when we are learning about children, that it's not either or, it's not just the parents, it's not just the environment, the school or the home. It's actually a dance between these two elements that really shapes a child's development. Nishita, can we go to the next slide? So when we talk about child psychology, what we're basically looking at is development, and um, the nature versus nurture debate sort of briefly taps into what this development actually means for a child. There are examples, like I also mentioned an example of the classroom. Um, a lot of us might have siblings. So just imagine, are we the same as the sibling that we have? Same home, same parents, but different personalities, different ways of looking at things, different behaviors, different rewards that we might have gotten from our child, different reinforcements just from the same parent. Even about, language. Language is something that, has a biological capacity, of course, and it is something that is built on exposure. So what it tells us is that we can't look at child development in isolation. We can't just look at what the history of the child is or the parents. We have to look at what is happening right now in the world that they are, in the current, in the environment that they are, that shape both. So if you have, known about case histories, when a child comes up for a therapy space to an OT therapist or to a counselor, we don't just look at what is happening currently, but we also consider the development history of the child. We always look at the birth history of the child. How was the pregnancy of the mother? um, how was the child conceived? Is it a normal birth? All of these factors are very important. Are there any pre-existing conditions running in the family? These are very important considerations to have when we are looking at a child. At the same time, it's also important to tap into the environment. How is the child doing in school? How is the child doing at home? How are they doing when they're doing something that they're enjoying? So knowing a child holistically in different areas that they are will tell you different key aspects about the child, and that's the idea that we keep in mind before learning about what a child really is trying to tell us through their behavior. And with that, I also want to talk about a little bit more about development. Nishra, can we move to the next slide? So development occurs in these different domains that you can see, the physical, the cognitive, the emotional, and of course, the social element. Um, we might have heard of these elements, of course, in our studies and in our work. The physical development part includes the growth that the child experiences, the growth milestones that are there for each age group, the skills, the motor skills, the gross motor skills that the child has, the amount of brain development that happens, the cognitive development. Cognition is nothing but thinking, problem solving, memory. How is that happening? We look at that. We also look at the social aspect. How is the child really interacting? How are the child's relationships with authority, with teachers, with parents, with siblings, or with their classmates, their peers, which will be very, very different based on what the setting is for the child. And what these domains essentially do is it helps us to look at behavior from multiple areas. A mistake that is commonly done is that we look at one area, one domain in isolation. But behavior is never just one thing. It is a combination of all of these areas, and the emotional regulation skills that the child has in the early years is strongly linked to the later academic success of a child. In my experience, I've also seen that when a child is struggling in class, it's not just about ability. A child who looks like they're anxious, it's often labeled as not paying attention, hyperactive. But what's actually happening is that they're not struggling with attention; they're just overwhelmed, either physically, cognitively, socially, or emotionally. Could be any matter. It could be any domain, and tapping onto each domain to understand where is the child's struggle exactly, where is the child's strengths lying, gives us a lot of insights. Because if we just look at the child very simplistically, it will not give us, the root cause of what is happening with the child. And development is never even. It's never the same across all domains. It's much of a graph. In some areas, the child will be strong. In some areas, the child might be struggling. So, keeping these domains in mind helps us to look at the child's development a little bit better. So we will actually be tapping into the theorist part of um, the child psychology, which is these four theorists who have really shared a lot of insights and a different approach to looking at child psychology. But unfortunately, due to the lack of time in today's session, we will be looking at these theorists in our session tomorrow, which will also follow up with a case study discussion. So we get to actually, apply what these approaches are and how they look like translated to a child scenario. So we will be doing that in our next session. We have a case study for it, and again, it's going to be a group effort. So we will really bring out that in the next discussion. While I always say this, that theory, it's always better to go beyond theory, but it always starts with theory. These theorists are not just names, but we actually use their ideas all the time, even without realizing it. So what each one is actually helping us is answer a different question about children, and we will be exploring that in our next session. Before we close for today's session, today was just a brief, um, touching base to what child psychology is, what are the different domains, what shapes children. And I would like to hear from you all. If you have any questions, what are your thoughts? Um, and what have your reflections been? So we will start with questions first. Um, yes, so please feel free to raise your hand and we will have a round of questions before we close. Since we have started 10 minutes late, we will be ending by 8:40. So we have 5 minutes to discuss and share our reflections. Any questions, any thoughts, reflections, aha moments that you have had in today's session? Anything that you're curious about, wanting to know more? and really looking forward to in the coming days.
Uh, Now I think one like again the child psychology was very like scattered for me, like starting with the session. So this like first nature was nurture, then domains of development. So it all kind of categorized in my mind. Like, we have been taught all of these, but you know, now seeing them in one place has again categorized for me. I think it's now easier for me to move forward. Me right now it was already like, oh, where do we start?
Thank you for sharing, Varun. Psychology students have always been cursed with fat textbooks, with a lot of theory, a lot of information. So, seeing less information actually feels refreshing at times. And I think that's what this um, session also aimed to do, is not to uh, bombard you all with information, because we already have that in our textbooks. But it was to bring in real life discussions, our own thought process, because ultimately we are going to be working with children, or we are planning to work with children, so that real life practical insight is really something that matters. Yes. Anybody else would like to share their thoughts, their reflections for today? Yes, Helen, please go ahead. When is play therapy used, and what happens in it? Um, I think I will not be able to answer this question in a very simple format, because there's a lot that happens in play therapy. And I'm personally on a journey myself to learn more about play therapy. I have done a course in narrative therapy, which taps into a little bit of um, questions and narratives and stories. Um, it also adjunctures a little bit with play therapy, which I would like to explore. And what essentially play therapy is that, it uses play as a tool to, open up conversations around things that children might otherwise not be able to answer directly. Because, with adults, there is vocabulary, there is clear cognition, there is, our language is more developed. But when it comes to children, language is not yet developed completely. It's more difficult to have those conversations with children to know more about, what is happening with their well-being, how we can support them, tapping into areas of their development, which happens very easily through play therapy. There are different mediums of play used, different tools used. I would really encourage you to look up about play therapy. We have an abundance of information on our hands, our fingertips. And if you have any specific questions about them after you read into it, I would definitely like to use, but like to discuss it with you. But what it essentially is a medium, a tool to help with interacting with children through non-verbal modes of communication, since the children struggle with that the most. And even when it's very easy to have a direct conversation and ask questions and know. But with a child who barely knows what emotions are, to talk about big words and heavy vocabulary, it's very difficult to have that sort of a conversation. And um, that is something that play therapy makes it easy for us to do. Would really encourage the others also to share. Yes, language is a part of the domain. It's actually part of the cognition domain, in which thinking capacity, memory is linked, because language is a part of cognition. So yes, it is a part of the domains. Any other questions or reflections? If you don't have any questions, I would encourage you to share your reflections from today, any insight, any aha moment that you have had. You can
Can I
also,
share?
yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, because this is the first time I'm attending a session based on child psychology, and because I have attended a few classes or sessions which is different. But I think what I liked the most about this was like, the interaction between everyone. Usually, the speaker will be speaking, and we will be taking notes. And in this, we are like, even though we are strangers, like we don't know each other, we still share thoughts. So I think that's one of the good things in this session, and I think this is actually one way of learning. So yeah, thank you for it.
Thank you for sharing. I think as a aspiring mental health professional, community is very important to learn from each other, to feel that sense of belonging and having that exchange of ideas. So the space is actually meant for that. Others? This space welcomes all kind of learners and communicators, whether it is expressive or you choose to keep your reflections to yourself. But I would really, really like to hear from you all in whatever mode is comfortable. You can also put your thoughts in a chat box if sharing it aloud is not possible. But in the upcoming sessions as well, I would really like if this session becomes a much happening space, just like Aishwarya mentioned that, this space, the key point of this space is that we have this time of interaction with each other, and let's use it to the full capacity because like I said, knowledge can be read up from the internet or from our textbooks, but this interactions, the insights that we hear from each other are really going to make this much more meaningful. So please would encourage you all to share more actively in our upcoming sessions because there are a lot of exciting activities, case studies, application based questions, breakout room activities that we have planned for you all, which will require a lot of cooking. So hopefully I hear more voices the next time. With that, we close for today's session. Thank you all for showing up, for sharing, even though it's the first time we are meeting and it might feel a little bit awkward, we might feel a little bit nervous, but we have still gathered the courage to speak and to share our thoughts. So please give yourself a pat on your back for doing that. And for those who have not been able to do it, we are patient. We are here. This is a safe space for you all to open up with time. So feel free to share your voices. Would really like to hear more from you all. With that, would like to greet you. Good evening again, and bye bye. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Also, just want to add that we will be sharing a Google Classroom invite, which has a homework for you all. That homework actually is something that is very close to my heart. It's a video that I recommend to all new counselors to watch at least once, or not just a counselor, but any educator, anybody who's interacting with a child, a parent, a counselor, educator, to watch it at least once because it has shifted something in me, and I hope that it shifts something for you also. And yeah, thank you all again. Bye.